We have some good news and bad news regarding the Titan submarine. The good news is, hey, they found it. The bad news is, well, you can collect whatever remains of it in several large Ziploc bags. Yeah, man, condolences to the families, of course, first and foremost, if you weren't offended off rip. But hey, nothing could be more offensive than what we're going to figure out by the end of this story, which kind of makes this... kind of perfectly encapsulates this entire situation because, boy howdy, over the past, couple of days, there hasn't been a larger story than this. And I understand that, yes, it's quite the confluence of events. Sure, you have some billionaires that are down there. It's a fantastical event with, the wreckage of the Titanic. It really does seem like everything's coming together. And yes, it had the Logitech controller, and there were some safety precautions, and there's some other people that we can bring in order to opine on the situation. But why did it get so big? Like, you can take a look just on the trending now page or the side tab that they have on the New York Post. You can see right there that it's getting all of these views. And why is it out there so much all over social media? Everybody's talking about this. Every single major news outlet, every single independent journalist. Why? Is it some morose curiosity that everybody has collectively? Maybe a little bit. Did it also have, the appeal for the lefties to chime in on off rip? Because yes, it's just a bunch of billionaires that are down there. And if, hey, had they just been better with their money or had more government oversight or whatever that stupid broad Ash Sarka had to opine on this. Sure, yeah, the lefties chimed in first and foremost. And then yesterday you had that leak in the rediscovered video where, I guess in this situation, yes, leaked out or unearthed, however you want to call it. That Stockton Rush, the former CEO, which was much more concerned about having a diverse workforce as opposed to a competent workforce. So it checked everybody's boxes, but I guess it was for good reason. But let's get all the groundwork out of the way. Well, not all of it, because most of it's still going to be on the ground floor of the ocean. Jokes, folks, we got them. Titanic sub-passengers died instantly in catastrophic implosion as wreckage from a doomed vessel discovered on ocean floor. Yeah, you could see from the headlines if you were reading ahead a little bit, and in fact, there's a little handy-dandy 10-second long video we can play on this one. So what ultimately ended up happening? So the instant collapse of pressure, the hull would immediately heat the air in the sub to around the surface of the sun's temperature as the walls and the metal and seawater smashed one end of the boat to the other, all in around 30 milliseconds. So yeah, that's apparently what ended up happening. So that's the best that you can see right there. So that's ultimately what everybody can theorize ended up happening very early during its voyage. So okay, what? Yeah, I know this one's this is quite the story, guys. The Titan Submersible, carrying 5 tourists, including 2 billionaires, suffered a catastrophic implosion on its trip to view the wreckage of the Titanic, killing all the passengers instantly, the United States Coast Guard announced Thursday. Yeah, after all hope was seemingly gone, after everybody theorized that the oxygen would have gone out, they magically found the remains right at the bottom near the Titanic. Debris from the wreckage discovered on the ocean floor Thursday is consistent with the catastrophic loss of pressure chamber, effectively meaning the sub was crushed under the weight of the sea at some point after it lost contact with the surface vessel on Sunday. Wait a minute. U.S. Coast Guard officials said 5 major pieces of debris at the OceanGate vessel were found 1,600 feet from the 1912 shipwreck. So, yeah, it was within spitting distance of the Titanic itself, which also means that, what about these rescue efforts that were out there? And especially if, all of this stuff happened on Sunday. All of this stuff starting to come together now. It is currently unknown what could have caused the implosion or when has the sub made its journey to the ocean floor, 12,500 feet below. Well, when did they lose contact with it? On Sunday. Makes sense, right? Coast Guard added they don't have an answer for prospects of recovering the bodies. No, you could see from that little demonstration that they had right there, there's nothing really left to recover, which is, again, just super unfortunate for the family. All of them that were affected. Like, my sympathies go out to there, because I also know that there was a father and son team that was there It's just, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. Pointing out to the bottom of the ocean is an incredibly unforgiving environment to both search and recover debris from, especially when there's really nothing to find. Passengers lost on the vessel were British billionaire explorer Hamish Harding, French Titanic expert Paul-Henri Narjolet, CEO of OceanGate Stockton Rush, Pakistani businessman Shazda Dawood, and his 19-year-old son Suleiman. Ugh. We offer our heartfelt condolences to the loved ones of the crew, Coast Guard Captain Jamie Frederick said Thursday. Reached at his home in Seattle on Thursday, Stockton's son Richard would only tell the Post, "We don't wish to speak at all during this time." That the one who's currently simping over some OnlyFans girl on Twitter. Listen, there's so many extemporaneous stories linked to this main one that it's such a wild case. U.S. First Coast Guard Division confirmed the discovery Thursday afternoon. Really? Saying a remotely operated vehicle, an unmanned undersea probe, had discovered debris from the Titan. Yeah, probably the exact same way that they found Mohammed Atta's passport on the same day of 9/11, including its nose cone and the front end of the vessel's pressure hull. Yeah, this shit seems really fucking sketchy, at least in my opinion. And then given the fact that, yeah, they have an opportunity to rope in one of Hollywood's most famous directors, one of their most profitable directors, yeah, then my radar starts to go up just a little bit. James Cameron compares the submersible tragedy to the real Titanic, blames OceanGate CEO for passenger deaths. If you hear any extra, noise in the background, there's currently a thunderstorm going outside, so I don't want to make too many jokes about the dead in case I end up getting struck by lightning in my home. So like I said, this entire story is a perfect confluence of events. James Cameron pointed out the similarity between the OceanGate tourist submersible tragedy and the 1912 sinking of the Titanic ship. "I'm struck by the similarity of the Titanic disaster itself, when the captain was repeatedly warned about ice ahead of the ship." No, you could also say, and bring up a very important point that Razorfist did right here, this tragedy may have been averted if only the Titanic submarine, the Titan submarine in this case, had been approved by all the relevant naval regulatory bodies, like, the Titanic. Interesting, but yeah, no, it's just ice that ended up sinking the Titanic. The entire story around the Titanic is very interesting, but it doesn't really involve, Kate Winslet and Leonardo DiCaprio look-alike, so it's not all that interesting, at least in Hollywood. Cameron, who had visited the historical wreckage numerous times himself, called it astonishing for a similar tragedy to take place after the owner of the submersible company, Stockton Rush, was warned not to go through with the dive. He recalled the televised interview with the top players, the submergence engineering community, wrote letters to OceanGate CEO warning him of the dangers before the voyage, but he's like, no, we hired a bunch of black ladies and they'll be great. According to the Avatar director 68, which, fun story about the Avatar shit, which I'm sure probably you, like many other people out there, have seen the first Avatar. Don't know about the second one. I don't know. Is it hit? Oh, no, yeah, it just recently hit streaming services. Probably never going to watch that 3-hour-long schlock, but watch the first one back in 2008 or 2009, whatever the hell it released. But the fifth one, the culmination of the series, is supposed to hit theaters in 2031. Christmas 2030. Basically 2032. Brother's going to be old enough to run on the Democratic ticket for president. Christ almighty. That his submersible was too experimental to carry passengers. He's like, nah, we've done it a few times, don't worry about it. And that it needed to be further certified before taking people to the ocean floor. However, on Sunday, Rush, along with 4 other wealthy adventurers, went dark an hour and 45 minutes after embarking on its nearly 2.4 mile journey to the ocean floor to view the wreckage of the Titanic. 1 hour, 45 minutes after they commenced their voyage, they lost contact with their ship. What do we know about the situation? Well, actually, it's kind of pertinent to reassess. What did the Coast Guard know about this? Well, U.S. Navy detected Titan implosion on Sunday. Oh, what about all of those stories about hearing banging every 30 minutes? Totally fucking made up. But Biden administration only released the news on Thursday after Hunter Biden's plea deal and whistleblower reports were released. Oh, Oh, like this stuff right here. Okay, Joe Biden, I have never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealing. Also, Joe Biden coercing a Chinese national to wire millions through his son by letting him know he's in the room. Yeah, so this was made public in Congress today, but that's what's taken up all the headlines. Yo, just take a look at what's trending right now. Titanic, James Cameron, Coast Guard. But what's not trending? Hunter Biden, Joe Biden. Yeah, perfect cover, right? Unbelievable. Using death, actual death, in order to run cover for the Biden family. Not the first time, won't be the last time either. The implosion of the Titan Submersible submarine that went missing on Sunday was known to the U.S. Navy days ago, though the U.S. Coast Guard only found debris of the wreckage on Thursday. So they knew that, yeah, oh no, that shit exploded. It's probably close to, because they've been down there a couple of times. This wasn't the maiden voyage of the Titan Submersible. They knew where to go. They knew exactly how to get there. So for them not to be able to comb this area in an appropriate amount of time, yeah, it's all starting to make sense. Underwater microphones, the Wall Street Journal reports. So yeah, this is from, the Wall Street Journal. Fairly reputable source, right? Which are used to detect enemy submarines. Detected the implosion. It was revealed at the Coast Guard that the Titan suffered a catastrophic implosion. The Navy did not name the system that they used to detect the implosion. Well, that's classified information. We could ask Trump, though. He seems pretty loose-lipped about that stuff. Anyways, the U.S. and Navy conducted an analysis of acoustic data and detected the anomaly consistent with the implosion or explosion in the general vicinity of where the Titan Submersible was operating when communications were lost. Yeah, they would have had to check in with the Coast Guard. Okay, so if the Navy was in communications with the Coast Guard, chances are they are on some form or fashion, they would have been able to put two and two together and solve this problem probably by about, Monday morning. While not definitive, this information was immediately shared to the incident commander to assist in the ongoing search and rescue mission. The information was not released sooner, was believed by some to be a distraction in the ongoing Biden scandal surrounding bribery, FBI cover-ups, and Hunter Biden's influence peddling. It was revealed on Thursday by House GOP that Hunter Biden demanded money from China while Joe Biden was in the room with him, and told the Chinese contact that his father was sitting there with him. It was revealed by an IRS whistleblower who testified in the House just one day after Hunter Biden pleaded guilty to tax crimes and was part of a plea deal. Yeah, the exact same day when the Trump trial got a tentative date, and then also Andrew Tate magically, him and Tristan both magically get charged after a 15-month long investigation. Again, just big fucking coincidence, I would imagine, right? A further crime of obtaining a firearm, lying on a background check, appears likely to be dismissed pending conditions. Yep. So the Biden family knows absolutely no shame. We could already piece that together thanks to Hunter's laptop that's just still out there, still apparently under investigation by the FBI. They've had an open investigation into it since 2019. What's ultimately going to end up happening with that? Well, we're going to have to wait a little bit longer until the old man dies and he's shuffled out of office, because that's the only time we're ever going to get to the bottom of this stuff, right? When nobody can make a dollar off of Joe Biden's influence. Makes me sick to my fucking stomach. So yes, of course, like I started at the beginning, condolences to all the families. You guys were used as political pawns. They kept the U.S. Navy, the Coast Guard, kept those family in suspense and amount and gave them so much false hope you would think Barack Obama was back on the ticket. But with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.